All right, everybody. How are you tonight? It's a good night. You want to know why it's a good night? Because we have Ruben from Rubrix RC on, along with my good buddy, Drew Boyd, here tonight. So we're going to sit down tonight. We're going to talk to our boy, Ruben. We're going to talk about what's going on for the J Concepts Vintage Class of Champions and Old School RC reunion. And then we're going to give Ruben some time, and we're going to talk all about Rubrix RC and what he's been doing and what's going on behind the scenes. Is there anything secret we're going to tell tonight, Ruben?
Yes, sir.
Oh, shit. All right. So with that said, guys, we're excited tonight. This is another one of our sponsorship series introductions. We're trying to take great care of our sponsors. Ruben has stepped up, and wow, some of the stuff he's going to be doing for us for this race is amazing. And we're excited to see these cars run at the J Concepts Vintage Class of Champions and Old School RC reunion. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes while I do my business in the background, trying to make Ruben famous.
Appreciate it. All right. Yeah. Great intro there, Dirk. Yeah, tonight's going to be a great night. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk about lots of different topics related to this wonderful Yokomo MX4 platform that became so famous around the 1997 Worlds. And then we're going to transition it into, the brand that Ruben has built off that. And, we were backstage a little bit talking about it beforehand. And, this MX4 platform is just, it's one of my favorite running cars that I have. I have one that I've been testing over the years. I've won some races at some vintage events that I've put on with it. And it just really is an amazing car. It handles super well. It does a lot of great things. Obviously, it has its weaknesses, especially back in the day when, they were in Finland and it had a big triple there and didn't survive it very well. But this car right here, Masami, won the 1997 Worlds with this bad boy. And then kind of put this car on the map as what, Yokomo's transition was going to be. So like I was telling Ruben and Dirk behind the scenes is that I always felt like the MX4 is one of those mysterious, four-wheel drive platforms in RC. It came on the scene hot. It won the Worlds right away. And then in 1999, it didn't have as much success, right? And I think even Billy Easton was talking about it on a forum where I guess there was a big triple in the Finland race, and the MX4 just had a really hard time kind of making that triple, but also just staying together when it didn't make the triple. And so obviously Masami didn't fare very well in Finland with that car after putting so much effort into it after the 97 Worlds. But, he recently created the MX4 Forever and talked about that car a lot. So it's a very impactful car in the world of RC. And we're really excited tonight to talk about Ruben and Rubrix Racing and all the things that he's doing with that platform and beyond, and also all the things that he's going to do with it in the future. So, Ruben, I'm going to give the floor to you a little bit to talk about yourself, obviously how you got your brand started, and just kind of transition from there, and we'll guide you as we go.
Sounds good. Thanks for that intro. Thanks for having me here on the show. It's really an honor. Thanks, Dirk. Thanks, Drew. You guys are doing amazing things for Clash of Champions, organizing the whole program. So it's really, really an honor. So yeah, like you were saying really well there, Drew, the MX4, tremendous car. It's honestly a car that I didn't initially get into when I started doing, the hobby thing after a long pause of not touching RC. The MX4 was something that came after. For me, the way it happened was, it was more of I got hooked when the moment I saw the YZ10 back in front of me after so many years. And that's what got me getting to know a little bit about the history that I had missed throughout a gap of 20 plus years. Like for many of us, COVID kind of brought things back in a way when we were sitting at home and kind of wondering, what could be doing that we could be doing now that, will allow time to go by. So the YZ10 was a car that I started going back to the 89, 91 works. And I figured, you know what? I need to get to learn the ins and outs of these cars and start restoring them, like a lot of us were doing during COVID. Let's find those parts that are so hard to find to get these cars slapped together. And then one thing led to another, where the next thing you know, I was getting, the cars completed and looking at them, and I was going, well, this is what I've been missing. And it sort of ignited this spark. Sort of wanted me to continue doing it. Next thing that came from restoring one or two was, well, let's start looking at the world's winning cars and how they looked and who won them, right? And what paint schemes that were used. And I started making replicas. So that's kind of what got me a little bit into more of the map, and if you will. I was doing the 93 WCS, a Masami replica that I thought was gorgeous.
And really is.
I was intrigued in getting to learn how the concept had come about, right? How Masaki combined the 93 works with that 94 YZ10 that hadn't been released yet, and figured, hey, how can I make an amazing, unique machine out of those two pieces? And he did. And learning how he came about doing that was, I remember that being a very intriguing and very enjoyable project. So then the 95 WCS, right, from Mark Pavitas, getting to figure out what touches he added to his car for that, race when he won, and what turnbuckles he used, what color hardware he used. All of those things were just kind of like putting a puzzle together. And it was something that I was drawn into. And so anyway, that's sort of how things started. This was before Rubrix, before the thought of getting a store, an online store put together, and how I started connecting with others that were doing the same thing, that I still talk to today. That I'm talking about 2020, early on, where you start getting to connect with people that are doing the same thing, where you're sharing now parts, right? You're saying, hey, I got this, I'm trying to complete this car, and I'm missing this. Hey, oh, you have it. Do you think we can kind of trade here, and I'll help you and you help me, and then next thing you know, you're just creating really good connections out there. So that was the early part of it, right? And then one thing that I sort of struggled with at the beginning was, I struggled getting to one place where I could find the parts that I needed, right? I had to rely on buying, donor cars, asking friends to see if they had the pieces. But I was like, man, I wish there was a website where you can just go to and find everything you could, and it would be a one-stop shop. So I think that's kind of what led into, having a one location where you could find just about everything you could to get a car to look fresh and clean and looking good, including the paint, the painted bodies. So that's kind of what gave me the idea of doing, starting Rubrix RC.com. And the brand itself was an extension of what I was trying to accomplish with building and restoring cars. It was an extension of bringing all of the neat pieces and parts that you could use to make a car shine and stand out and be a top shelf car, right? And anyway, that led into other things that we'll get into, I'm sure, which includes the MX4, which something that came after I started doing the restorations on the YZ10s. The MX4 was actually a car that I initially, I'll be honest with you, I looked at it and I was looking at the stock production MX4, and it didn't really click at first. I'll be honest with you. The YZ10 was it for me. But then coming across the 97 Worlds prototype, and looking at it, and looking at both side to side, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is more of a unique idea that Masaki just thought of and conceptualized from working off of a 95 WCS, because that's what the prototype started from. But I was really intrigued. there was differences there in the materials that were used, the geometry of the on the suspension, camber links, the bulkheads, everything was just different, and it really connected and for me, and I wanted just to know more about it. So I ended up getting a hold of one, and then that's when it really got in front of me, and I saw the potential in it.
Yeah.
I really saw it was a car that was raced at the 97 Worlds and pretty much put aside. I mean, when Yokomo decided to commercialize the MX-4, there was some, let's be honest, some changes done to the car. And what was put out there wasn't really that 97 Worlds winning chassis. So for me, it was, okay, we got some potential here. Possibly having this car in the hands of individuals that would love to race it and use it would be maybe a good idea. So that's kind of how that started. And that's how I wanted to work on getting the car back and in on the track at a competitive level. And that's where we get into the RX-4 Evo, which you guys have heard of, and a car that's really making its way out there, and it's doing good things. We've done a lot of work towards getting these added hop ups on the car that just make it really competitive. So,
well,
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, so I'll just say this, Ruben, just to transition off what you said. When I started building my MX-4, right, I had a production MX-4 car, and I tried to look at Masami's, pictures. There was a French article that got posted, I believe, that had a lot of really detailed pictures of the car, and you're pulling them up with a magnifying glass and you're studying them. And what happens is that there's a lot of things on this car that you can replicate from your house, but there was so much of it that was so hands off from what was reality of what someone like myself could do, and even you at the time, right? And so you get intrigued. You start to look at the back of that gearbox, and it's all white and it's open, and you can see the gear dip or the ball dip inside of it. And you're like, man, I wish I could do that. And you've kind of taken it to that level. So as someone that experienced that situation where I knew I couldn't have what he had, but I did my best to replicate this car, say 80%. Now everybody out there has this option to have something that nobody else really could have. And that's what you've done with your brand and your platform. I think it's amazing. So
I'll show this just because I think it's probably a good point of reference. I mean, this was posted when it was first finished, but I was looking at, when looking at all the parts of the car that needed to get reproduced to be able to get a good match of the original spec car. This was the first build that came about, which was basically proof of concept. I mean, you can see, like you were showing the rear gearbox of the stock MX-4.
Yeah, look at that.
And then I was looking at the rear Del Rim bulkhead of the 97 Worlds prototype, and that was one of those neat features that I thought, hey, it's a little bit easier to get into it and work on this car now with things kind of being open. It's a very narrow rear differential assembly, but there was unique touches there, and the same with the front. The bulkhead. There was just a lot of good in the car that I just sparked a lot of interest.
Well, it's interesting because the MX-4 platform that came out of production basically had a plastic bulkhead that was held on by one screw, right?
Yes.
One single screw. And the reality is that in 97, Masami's whole chassis was carbon fiber all the way to the front with a kick up. And that's what your RX-4 Evo platform showcases. It's got that entire carbon, chassis all the way up to the top front bumper.
So it was, the goal is the way you were just saying, one piece.
Yeah, there it is.
A covered chassis with that kick up nose. That was integrated to the chassis. That was one of those big unique touches, which is basically how the YZ10 is, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, just those things.
Damn,
Definitely
now I want
made
one,
it
Ruben.
unique. What's that?
I said, now I want one.
Yeah, he does.
We'll work on that. Don't worry, Dirk.
Okay.
So,
So,
so a question, Ruben.
Yeah.
Let's just say that you're someone like me that's sitting at home watching this live cast. We're going to watch the video later and create a view for us. And you have this car, or you have a production MX4 on your house, which I know a lot of people do. I've seen this car all over the internet, just like this. Can you go and buy your chassis and the rear end, and the top deck and everything, and the front, and kind of make the parts compatible with this? Or is it something where the RX4 Evo has to be, one in its own kit that you offer?
So honestly, it is better to start off with the kit than trying to retrofit things from a stock MX4 into making a prototype. The reason being, 75+% of the car, the prototype, is unique. The pieces are unique.
Wow.
So I mean, I really got into this, and it obviously I did get into it in the weeds, and it really clicked when I started seeing the differentials, for example, being different, the outdrive offsets being different, because I was just trying to figure it out at first. And I saw the bulkheads were different, front, rear, aluminum in the front, Delrin in the back. The trying to fit a stock MX4 differential into those bulkheads didn't fit.
Wow.
So I knew that we were dealing with a true prototype.
Yeah.
So it's really much harder if you're trying to do it that way.
Mhm.
I mean, I have offered a conversion kit for certain individuals that, said, hey, I do have a stock MX4 and I would like to see if I can make this, turn it into a prototype. And there is a way to do it. But you're definitely going to need quite a bit of unique pieces to go with it. The RX4, it comes in the kit. It's good to go. All the components are there. It's probably going to be a good way for the customer to get acquainted with the build process, starting from the whole kit from the ground up. And I've put instructions together, a manual. I call it an installation guide more than a manual, because for a one man operation to be able to put a full blown manual out there, it's time consuming. But I managed to get, and it's on the website. I have both the
Dirk, if you go to the more section, the more tab on the far right, and you scroll down, you'll see a couple manuals. But just check out how detailed his manuals are. And it's really cool. I was checking them out there. Look at that right there. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So this is actually the prototype's manual. So, and to make it clear, so the RX4 is to be the 97 World Spec MX4. The RX4 Evo is the evolutionized or the modernized version of that, which has differences to include, one piece top deck to give that front end stability, prevent some of that chassis twist. Ideal for, carpet, indoor tracks, turf. It has an X pattern belt tensioner there. Kind of goes with the brand, right? Rubrix. So we decided to do that X pattern tensioner there. It has a slipper that we have developed that managed to fit in that narrow rear bulkhead, which is really hard to work with.
Right.
And many that are listening right now know exactly what that means.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, this is incredible, Ruben.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like,
thanks.
Yeah, I was telling Ruben today that one of the failures that I had when I raced this MX4 at one event was my slipper. The slipper came loose in the center section, and it's got like this, what would you even call that, Ruben? It's like a null or whatever they call that, cross hatching.
Yeah, it was really, I mean, Yokomo did what they could to fit a slipper in that narrow rear differential. So they had to work off of a knob that you would tie against the outer plate of the slipper, and there was bearings inside of that the knob there, and it's hard to tune it once it's in the car. You basically have to disassemble the rear differential case to get to it.
Yeah.
To stay true to the specifications of the car, the slipper that we designed, it's simpler, because I do have to say the Yokomo's engineered slipper is a little bit over engineered. So I wanted to simplify that, but it's still kind of hard to get to and adjust the slipper that we developed, but it's a little bit easier. There's a M5 size nut that goes on the outside, and it just applies the pressure against the outer plate, and you can get to it with a small enough tool. But anyway, so that was one of the other upgrades that we did to the car on the Evo. I mean, the aluminum hubs, front, rear, with some adjustability on the rear hubs, which were Team Suzuki inspired hubs, were a nice touch. But we try to keep the car as original to its true form as possible. We just basically gave it a nice modern facelift.
Yeah.
But the transmission stayed the same. So
yeah. So
Ruben, I'm curious, what is your, I know you and I have talked and we spent a lot of time talking in the background, but what is your background? So what do you do outside of RC cars? And because wow, this shit right here is special, man. This is I'm like sitting here thinking right now, Ruben.
I appreciate that.
Let's design our own RC car. Modern.
Right.
Yeah, I think we've talked a little bit about this in the past. I mean, it's really passion. It's really, that energy comes from somewhere that I really can't explain. It's just there. But I honestly, I do IT as a full-time job. That's kind of, I'm kind of one of those geeky guys that get in front of the computer screen and kind of solve problems throughout the day. And then I think RC was more of a, okay, I need to get my head out of the daily keyboard stuff and let's spend some of that energy and balance myself out doing the hobby. And I think a lot of that energy that I needed to get away from my primary job was put into this, and that's kind of what I do to keep my head leveled in a way. But go ahead.
Wow. So where'd you come up with like the designs and different thoughts? I mean, are you good with CAD? Do you just ask somebody that works with you?
So good question. Definitely can't do all of it alone. That's for sure.
Right.
I had to, through working through early on, I met some really good, smart brains out there that shared the same passion with me. They wanted to be part of the things that I wanted to do, and which was an idea that led to a design that became into real form. And they really helped conceptualize the things that I was more of the, here's the idea, let me draw it out, let me put it in front of you kind of thing, and let's come up with the actual production part. And there's a lot of them out there. And to mention one of them, which I'm sure is watching right now, Dan, Dragon Punch RC was one of those early on that at the beginning of 2020, where we started talking about things and ideas that went into the RX4 Evo, for example. Him and I talked about the steering assembly on the RX4 Evo. That's Dan's idea. With us chatting and talking about it, it became a product. But there's a team of individuals out there that are part of Rubrix RC. And
dude, that's awesome to hear. Dan and I have spent so much time, and he's, other than you, Drew, he's probably one of the most Masami nuts that I've ever met. He is crazy about Masami, and him and Masaki talk a bit. And Masaki, if you're listening, we'd love to have you down in March. You're really one of the big keys that we're missing to bring back my childhood memory. So if you're listening, come on. And I know Pavitas is probably watching. He just had a visit to Associated, and him and I were just texting right as we were doing this. And his I hope he is watching this, because I think Jason Grimes had his car for a long time, one of the prototypes, and then it ended up in the hands, I can't remember who that, Daniel or somebody. I don't know where that car is now, though. Do you know?
I don't even know if Jason knows. Maybe he does. I saw it got posted the other day, a picture of Jason posted, because he was looking for Jason. Was actually looking for an MX4. It's like, Jason, just go to Rubrix. But he posted a picture of the Pavitas car, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I sold it." And then kind of a little bit of banter got started there.
It was a YMP 13. It was an actual mid-drive conversion car. Basically, this guy.
Yeah.
So it was a mid-drive. Yeah.
Daniel's actually watching right now from Dragon Punch, and I actually had some great conversations with him this week too. Great guy. I was glad to kind of introduce myself. I just sent him a thank you note for all his help being a part of this event. Next thing you know, we're chatting for over an hour, and it was just awesome. So Daniel just posted that car is in Germany right now. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember where it went. I know where it went originally, because I helped with that. But yeah, it's so funny because these cars, Daniel McDade and I've traded cars back and forth so many damn times. But I've kind of got out of the whole building a car every single day and doing all that, and trying to help people like Ruben, and trying to help promote races. And Drew and I have spent some time together, and I love working with Drew, and Drew is a workhorse, and I hope we do 1,000 more of these events together before we die, Drew. Honestly, it's amazing. Just what I've seen with old school RC over the last 10 years, and the relationships that have been built through that group and through the vintage RC community. It's like none I've ever seen. I'm gonna be honest, you guys are like my best friends. Does that make me sound sad that my best friends are that are right here? Well, Ruben, you and I don't know each other very well yet, but I would consider Drew one of my best buds. And just the relationships that I have built with old school RC over the years is incredible. And why we're talking about that, just kind of a brief deal, Ruben. I don't want to cut you off, and we'll get right back to where we were. But I want to take a moment to thank our sponsors and our founding fathers. Drew Hughes, thank you, sir. Mike Kirby, Amberly Kirby, Team K&K, thanks for all y'all do and being a part of this. Eddie and Angie of Hoosier RC, thank you. Team Associated, I know Ruben and I are representing. Looks like Drew's got a trader's hat on tonight, but that's okay.
I got the Yokomo hat on
tonight, doesn't it, Drew?
I got the Yokomo hat on.
Drew's a big Yokomo fan. And, Jason Rona of J Concept stepping in to be this title sponsor. Wow. Thank you, Jason. And we got MIP, Mr. Eustace Moore. If y'all didn't see the videos yet, it's our #1 video so far at, I think, close to 13,000 hits so far. He made a big leak and announcement on that video, which is incredible. So we got something special coming out. My buddy Heath Mescal, Cal RC. They keep you organized and clean and maintain your vehicles. If you've never used the products, you're missing out. You can use code CLASH. Code CLASH. We got a cool video coming very soon. Thank you, Greg. I know you're watching. You are the freaking man.
Yes, thank you, Greg.
Code CLASH. If you use code CLASH to buy Cal RC products right now, that same percentage discount you get, he's going to put right towards the race. So that's special. So please use that code CLASH. So thank you to all the title sponsors and everybody that's helping make this come alive. And Ruben, people like you are what makes it special, right? We've got all these big name groups like Yokomo, Team Associated, Kyosho. We've got a lot of the major car brands involved, but I really wanted our focus to be more about up and coming companies and people that are working their asses off behind the scenes, single man shops. Dude, just looking at these instructions.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I'm freaking blown away, dude.
Yeah.
Ruben, I know, there's been some comments coming up. You and I talked about it a while back when you first put these kits out. And they're like, wow, $1,200 or whatever it is. I can't remember the price, but I mean, honestly, guys, you know, look at what he's done and look at what he's done by himself. And this is a true freaking work of art. I can't, I've not seen one, like had one in my hands yet, but I'm excited to get to see them in March. And so thank you.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll make that happen and you'll be able to see some.
Yeah.
I hope so too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a lot coming from one man shop, like you were saying. But for me, being the brain that I am in terms of when I get myself into doing something, doing it right, properly from the get-go, I went through and just wanted to bring the best materials that I could for every component that I made for the kits, the cars, and never looking at ways to be able to, cut the cost. And, I just wanted to be able to have that component pop and really make up the car in its entirety to really show it being a shelf queen looking vehicle. And that was part of what I wanted to pass on with the brand is folks that got the car to look at it and feel like they got themselves a true top shelf vehicle when done. They had the shelf queen appeal to be with the car and then being able to use it. Because that's one of the things that we came from was 4 years ago, we were putting these YZ10s together with spare parts from original parts that we just wouldn't dare to use because it was so hard to get those cars completed. Mm-hmm. So get to the point where you're able to reproduce a car that is now fully covered in terms of spare parts. You can use it. You can race it. If something breaks, not having to worry that you can get that part replaced back to its original state and continue using it. And then when you're done, with that event, that race, being able to, wipe it down a little bit, put it up on the shelf, and it's looking like it's a shelf queen again. So, that's kind of what a big aim was for, and what I wanted to bring with these kits. So,
it's awesome.
Thanks for seeing that. I mean, and I felt like putting this manual together was something that obviously customers would appreciate. One thing is to be at the bench building cars like I was doing at the very beginning. I was trying to get the product out there in the cars, and I was building every one of them. Customers were interested in getting a hold of one, and I was building them, and they were leaving here assembled in the box. So having the manual available was me going through the process, being as detailed as I could to get something ready where now the experience of building the car was at the hands of the customer, so that they could get fully acquainted with the vehicle. And whenever there was any maintenance that needed to happen with the car, they had a manual to start with. And obviously me being here for any questions.
So is this is the Evo a complete kit, or does it still need stuff to be built? No, so it's complete. The RX4 Evo. Okay. I didn't realize that. Yeah, so the RX4 Evo is fully all-inclusive. Besides the electronics, it's a car that you can now assemble, and you don't need to look for any donor parts from a stock MX4. That's how it was at the beginning. So at the beginning, as things were evolving and the project was kicking off, not every single part was being developed. And so, you had to start with a stock MX4 if you wanted to have a 97 Worlds prototype. But that sort of, with time, went away as a requirement. And again, that was the goal. And now it's all inclusive. Yeah. Wow. And it's finally happened. And now we're in the stages where we're trying to get as many of these kits put together and out the door as we can. And it's a lot of work, but we're getting there. Can I ask a question, Ruben? Can I ask how many you've sold so far, or how many have been in production so far? So the box kits themselves, fully inclusive, started actually in November, was when the first 7
were prepped and went out. We just did another 5, but we're about 44 combined between the stock 97 Worlds MX4 configuration, which is the one with the cell cutouts on the chassis. 19 of those, and then the Evo chassis, 24, 25, I believe. So, but the numbers are going to grow. I mean, we're definitely working towards getting more of these out because the demand has been, I mean, just crazy. I get, as you guys can imagine, daily messages, you know, hey, Ruben, how can I get one of these? When can I get my chance? And we're working on making these available, you know, as fast as we can.
Hey, Ruben, I heard a rumor that you may be waffling a car off or something as part of this race. Is that true?
Well, actually, yeah. So there is truth there.
Damn it, Drew, I'm buying all the spots.
So, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna pull a Kirby and take every spot ahead of time. Thank you.
So we're gonna waffle is the mid-drive configuration conversion kit for the stock MX4, which is the Yokomo YMP13 conversion kit.
Wow.
Which it includes a few components. It's not a full car; it's a conversion. Yep. So you do need a stock MX4 to do the conversion, but it's the one-piece top deck, the motor mount and lay shaft mount, which are 3 pieces. You got obviously the chassis, the front tower, you got the rear tower, the old school battery straps, one on each side, and then the chassis is going to be serialized. And it's going to be a good way to get your stock MX4 converted to a mid-drive.
Is that my car you got in your hand right there?
So I know you mentioned you needed a 4-wheel drive car for Clash of Champions, and you know about Drew getting his. And by the way, did you get it, Drew, or is it still?
Yeah, it actually comes tomorrow. It looks like.
Oh man!
I know.
Was I supposed to say
one
that,
day
Drew?
short, Drew?
I know. I was hoping it was going to come today to unveil it, but we'll talk about that here in a minute.
Yes. So, but anyway, this Dirk, if you're ready and you're honestly wanting to get a hold of one, we can customize it and get it ready.
Awesome.
For real?
Yes.
Can I give you an air hug?
Man. So yeah, no. Waffle's coming soon. Old School Nation and Vintage Community. It's going to be exciting. We'll try to make sure Kirby doesn't take every spot either.
Yeah, you think we can restrict him?
I don't know. We'll see. He gets
down the comments or something.
He gets yeah. Just do it when he's sleeping or something. No, so that's great. Yeah, I mean, so collectors out there, you can get the MX4, you know, prototype car that Masami ran in '97 as a full kit now. We've talked about the RX4 Evo, but I want to do one thing on the RX4 Evo before we transition more. Is Scott Spears actually on this chat? He's been talking about it. I haven't reached out to Scott directly just yet, but I intend to. I know, Ruben, we talked a lot about him the last week or so. Scott actually won the Kinwald Classic a couple months ago with your RX4 Evo. I got to watch that on video, not knowing at the time exactly what that car was, but I was like, man, that car looks really good. And then I saw the pictures getting followed up, and but you know, Scott is amazing. He's been saying all kinds of great comments tonight. You know, I fully respect Scott and all his accomplishments and what he's done. And Scott is coming to the March race, which I'm really excited about.
I heard he's slow.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll find out. But you want to talk a little bit? So I guess where I was going to go with that is that I've raced this MX4 for a couple of years. I've had a rear hub failure. I've had a slipper failure, and I've had a steering block failure. As you've talked about tonight, you've worked with Dragon Punch RC to rectify the steering issue. You've created aluminum hubs. You create your own slipper. So you've basically taken all the weak points out of this car and turned it into something that Scott obviously has won, you know, a pretty big vintage race here in the United States. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So Scott, I mean, there's not enough I can say about Scott Spear and his contributions to the project. And I mean, not only from an inspirational standpoint, but just from his expertise and his knowledge. I mean, he's actually a guy that at the very beginning, before I had even started considering the 97, MX4 World's prototype, he was a guy that was saying, "Hey, Ruben, we got to work on this. We got to work on getting this car back." He had followed my work on restoring cars, YZ10s, big follower of my work, and always commenting on how good the builds were. And he's like, "Man, one of these days we gotta bring this car back." So he was a big encouragement. And once the Evo got to where I could offer it to him to start testing, right? Because it was a long, weary road, trust me. By the time he got it, it had gotten through quite a few revisions. And I have to mention, the first two guys that really took on the MX4 prototype when it first got to the point where I can ship it out and have it tested on the track were Chris Eli from UK, Daniel Ehrman from Sweden. I have to mention those two. Those were the first two. They're chassis number 1 and 2. And then Rick Greenwood from UK came on board. They all three went to Euromasters in UK back in March and really did very well with the car. I mean, we ended up 4th at Euromasters in the class. Daniel Ehrman got 4th spot. This was very early on. We were using the stock MX4 slipper, the one you were talking about earlier, Drew. But with those three guys, we got the Evo to look like an Evo, right? But then Scott got a hold of the car, and his brain is very similar to mine in terms of that OCD approach. He's a total professional. He started pointing out things that perhaps could be improved. Hey, this hole maybe needs to move, a few millimeters this way instead of, that direction, because that'll align the rear end and the lay shaft. He started looking at how eliminating some weight in certain areas would have an advantage, right, to get even more out of the car. So a lot of credit goes to him. Through him getting the car, we made some adjustments to bring the car to be even better. And I mean, obviously he won at the Brian Kinwall Classic. He was making that car just look amazing on the track. I mean, amazing. I mean, I watched the video of him racing it. I haven't told him, but quite a few times, and it was really a pleasure. But contributions.
We'll find out how good he is soon enough. Bring it, Scott.
Dirk's bringing the heat. Well, yeah. So I guess as a transition there, you're assembling quite a little bit of a team for this March race, Ruben. You've got Scott coming he's from Arizona, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's coming from the West, which is amazing. I'm really excited to see him. And Scott, if you have any questions as well, just let us know as it leads up. But obviously then we started talking, and my love for the Yokomo MX4 was very, very evident even just by talking to me. And you built me a car. So you want to talk about the car you're building me to race at the March race?
Yeah. So your car came about the idea of, okay, the YMP13 that we've been talking about, the mid-drive stock MX4, which we know, Drew, that you're really attached to. It was just it's a conversion that, kind of back in the day, gave some mixed feedback results from people that managed to get it out on the track. And I felt that now that having the opportunity of bringing it back, kind of like the Evo, right, to the point where you can use it without having to worry about breaking this or that. Because 4 years ago, to get a YMP13 kit that was original was very costly if you could find one. I mean, I think a total of 88 made it out original from Yokomo. Do you think if you're a collector, you're going to want to track that and push it to the limits and scratch the carbon? No.
Yeah.
So now we're at a point where we can do that. And I figured, it would be really good to not only have the RX4 Evo out at the Clash of Champions, but getting the YMP13 conversion out there and tracking it would be an amazing idea for you, Drew. I had one that I had started working on here during the time that we were talking, and I'm like, okay, let's bring this car a little bit up a level, up a notch, and give it some hop ups that would make it, even give it that resemblance of the 2001 Worlds, car, by doing the alloy hubs. I use silver for your car, C hubs, spindles, and rear hubs, doing the RRP slipper, and see how it handles on the track, from a weight balancing standpoint on jumps, and really get a driver like you to be able to give out some pointers, and maybe even provide some things that could be adjusted on it if needed.
Yeah.
But that was kind of what led me to offer that up, and it's an honor that you're going to do this, by the way, Drew. And
thank you. I'm I'm an independent kind of guy. And this just feels right to me. This is my favorite platform of all time. It's a car that I've never been able to have my hands on. Obviously I race Yokomo 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive down at Hoosier all the time with Dunbar in tow, and Dunbar's been so influential in my RC car career, and making that replica for him, and building a relationship. It's kind of like the best way I can live through Kenwall is through him. He has a Dremel on his top of his pit shelf, and he has it out almost every race. There's very few people that pull a Dremel out, but people like Dunbar that lived through the Kenwall era, that's what they did. So what they do. And
I don't know that I've been to a race and he ain't had a damn Dremel out.
Yeah, it's just the way he's wired, and just his meticulous on the gold, and the different things. And he comes over my car and checks bolts that I don't ever check, and it's just the Kenwald vibe that runs through him, and that's just how they did it. But I love driving 4-wheel drive Yokomos. I do really well. I've got great results out of them, and I'm going to make this car look good. I'm going to put a bunch of work into it here coming up once I get it. And, we've got another big announcement coming up with another driver he's going to have at the race here. We won't actually say it right now, but he's in the process of building the car for him right now, and that'll be unveiled soon, and it's going to be pretty epic. So between Scott and myself and maybe Dirk
you got Chris Von Air on here wanting in on the game too.
Oh shoot, yeah, Chris is bringing his 95 Pavitas he showed me. So
yeah, he ain't playing.
Yeah, Chris, actually, a cool story. I brought my car down to when we were making that promo video, and Chris ran my Yokomo MX-4, and we exposed a few little shock packages that we wanted to change on it, but he was super helpful, and I got a good video of that. I actually sent it to Ruben, and that's where our conversation started about me, him building a car for me, and he saw the video and how good that car looked at the time, and he's like, man, we gotta make this happen. So trust me, there's gonna be a lot of testing that goes down at Hoosier over the next few months with not only me, but another fun individual, and Ruben's going to announce that soon. We won't spill the bag, but I can tell you that it's going to be epic. It's going to be epic stuff.
It's already happening.
Here's some parts that are going to go into that build.
Oh yeah, so look, Chris has got. He said, Chris said he's already got me way covered. Yeah, okay. But no, it's going to be so fun. There's going to be a great group of Yokomo cars out there in this post 97 class, and I'm really excited to rock that YMP and uncover its potential, and see what we can do and promote it. I'm going to be a great spokesman for that too. And we're going to sell a lot of them. So be prepared.
So I'm going to make a commitment right now. Yeah. I hope you're ready, Ruben.
I will be. I think that in my heart, I'm ready, and then we'll see what happens. But yeah, we'll definitely push it.
I'm going to make a commitment right now. Drew, I love you. Right. But if you beat Chris Von Air, I will kiss your feet in front of everybody at the race.
Oh,
wow.
No pressure.
Well, here's the thing is that, guys like Chris and maybe even Scott and, Dunbar, et cetera, guys like that I race against a lot, they're faster than me, but man, if they make a mistake, I'm going to capitalize because I'm a 98% consistent driver. So,
all right. Yeah.
I don't typically make I make up for what I don't have the speed with my consistency. So
I'm going to tell you this. Drew had the most epic finish in RC that I think I've ever seen at a recent race. I think it's made him famous. I think that has like 2.2 million views or some shit, Drew.
Does it really?
I don't know.
No.
But it'd be cool if it did.
Well, maybe 2 million were mine, probably.
One thing I was going to mention is obviously I'll be at a Clash of Champions in person. One thing that's going to allow you guys to push the cars hard is the availability of parts. Stock MX4, YMP. I'll be at the track and I'll have parts with me. So we got things like stuff that was hard to find before, arms.
Yes.
So those are always good to have around.
I will need those if I'm running one.
And then cool little hop up some RRP flavor for the stock MX4 YMP, the front tower with a new little hop up front brace to give the hinge pins a little bit more support and stability.
Nice.
And titanium hinge pins all the way around. I mean, stuff like that, always available.
Yeah. That's the one thing about these MX4 cars is that, you know, my buddy Matt was going to tell me these front towers, you can see how high they are, and you can see the rear one. They, you know, even Matt said they just kind of hang out there, you know.
Yeah, they
so
do.
Ruben has came up with a reinforced towers front and rear that just give the same look but give it more reinforcement and strength. So Ruben, again, you're doing just amazing things. We're going to sell a ton of these kits. You're already selling a ton of them. Just talking to you, I know how busy you are with this. I don't even know how you get your IT work done, to be honest, but I'm excited, and you're going to see some great things. And that's the one thing, Dirk talked about it, is that we've got all these partners, right? And we started to kind of look at them, and Dirk and I were even talking this week. It's like we're trying to surround ourselves with the right partners. It's not always about quantity. It's about the quality of the partners that we have. And when we have guys like you and Dragon Punch and Team Associated and even Yokomo guys, and those are just four that I'll pull out, but the list goes on. These guys are really backing us, and it's a relationship we're building, and we're doing different things to support them beyond just a logo on a flyer or whatever. We're having these live casts, we're creating connections, we're opening other relationships, we're bringing the legends together, etc. And so it's a family, as Dirk mentioned, and that's really what this race is about. I mean, we're Dirk and I and Kirby, we're all doing this in our free time. We're not making any money off this. We're doing it for the love of the hobby, and we want to support our partners and support the track that's putting this race on, and continue to make all those things happen. Keep the track running. Keep Ruben making new products and parts, and that's what this race is about. It's far from a money grab for us. It's all about the passion and surrounding ourselves and building relationships and maintaining these not only short term but long term, and doing more races in the future. And that's what this race is about. It's really been that. Even like the post with Chris Dosick today. Guy's in surgery and he's a confirmed legend now, and we're just like, say your posts and your thoughts. That's what we want to hear. And this race has just really come together, truly amazing. I think everybody's seeing the benefits of it, and it's just been fun to be a part of. I think everybody can agree on that.
Definitely. You hit a really important point there, in embracing the community and really what the hobby means, which is more than just pumping out cars and parts. It's really bringing together a common love and passion for a hobby, and how brings us together and being able to help each other out. It happens daily with what I do, embracing the customer, the bond that extends beyond a transaction. It's more about helping. How can I help you get to where you want to be on your build? And the value that comes out of that is more than a dollar figure can bring to me. And to be honest with you, if I can get myself on the other end, where I was 4 years ago when I was looking for help and parts to get my projects done, and now I can do that for other people and help out, it really creates a bond. It shows that there's a shared love and passion, and that's what it's all about. Getting folks to get to that end goal and getting those cars completed, raceable, getting those parts out there, making them available. And yeah, it's been incredible.
Yeah, I mean, this race is just going to be so awesome. I mean, we've got, you know, your YMP platform, your Evo platform, your MX4 platform or RX4 that no one's really able to have, you know, as a collector or even as a race used car. And then you've got, you know, MIP that's going to be launching the Legend prototype. And it's like this race is just going to be the forefront of a perfect storm of all these amazing legends, but also all these concepts. You know, look at all the cars that Associates popping, etc. It's just, I mean, it's just going to be such an epic center of the storm and a great platform for everybody involved. So we're so excited, and you know, there's going to be so many great things that happen too long term as well after this. But you know, we're trying to just focus on what we're doing, and we're just really pumped. So. Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting you in person, Ruben. It's going to be great. And we got so many cool announcements coming up soon. And it's going to be awesome, man. Like, I will share this, talking about this race and this family. You know, I was texting Jill Johnson today, who's, you know, really been the backbone of our Legends build up from the very beginning of, you know, the conversations of when Dirk and Kirby brought this concept. It's like, okay, let me go find out if I can get Jill to be our backbone. And I sent Jill the Dosick post today, and Joel came back with just the nicest text. The texts were to the point of, thank you for sharing. I'm so happy that, you know, I can be a part of this race. And I'm so happy that my presence has helped build all these other people coming and all these racers coming. So, you know, you hear that from a guy like Joel, who's so established, and but it means a lot to him too, to be here. And I think everybody feels this way. So it's going to be one epic event, you know?
Definitely.
It really is, Ruben.
And
I'm so glad.
Getting to, and then not only this, I mean, this event is going to be huge, and being able to see people that you are so used to talking to through Messenger and emails, and now getting the chance to getting that interaction and actually get to shake hands. I mean, it's really, I'm really looking forward to that, and being able to help right on the track. You know, the people that you're sharing pictures with on Messenger, to now be able to be at the track and kind of have discussions about cars and builds and whatever. It's another level of engagement.
Yeah,
so very looking forward to that.
So another thing I want to just touch on real quick. I know we're kind of running towards our hour here, but your site's got all these amazing platforms that you're providing, but you also sell parts for the RC10, the YZ10. I know Chris talked about, you know, parts for the YZ10 being at the race, but you also, if you click on the RC Bodies, Dirk, tab, talk about your partnership with your painter and the things that you can kind of accomplish there, and all the offerings. If you scroll down, you look at all those, you know, legendary bodies and everything.
I had no idea this was on here.
Yeah. So this is one of those examples of collaborating with brains alike and people that just take ideas and just read your mind and come up with designs that are just amazing. So painter is PJ Designs in Spain. He and I started working together and talking a while back, and there's just a cool dude that I clicked with, and he wanted to be part of what I was doing, and I told him, hey, I'm gonna have a need to have, you know, painted bodies done, not only for MX4s but YZ10s and RC10s. I was basically wanting to have, again, that one area where folks could not only get their parts but could get their bodies painted and get a full complete car done, whether it was a restoration or a new box kit build. But he does amazing work, and all of these bodies come from him. LED theme, Masami theme, Mark Pavita's, even custom work. I mean, we have, you know, folks that come over and just say, hey, this is my body. I've had this paint theme for years and years, and I would like to have that applied to an RC10 show. Yeah. Can you make it happen? And we make it happen. Yeah. the Evo, the one you're clicking there now, that theme it was something that I just basically told him what I kind of wanted, give him a few examples, and he just spit that out, and he did amazing. I mean, just now that Evo theme is really something that folks are wanting and like. We even recently did a Masami color theme of that car. I don't know if you can show it on the screen.
Yep. Hold on. Is it on here?
No, it is not.
Okay, let me X out of here then real quick.
It just arrived today.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Like I even I placed an order with Ruben.
Got it up.
Pretty substantial order, and I said, hey, can you have him paint my scheme with the box art? Oh wow, look at that. So
Holy shit.
Ruben's working on a DBR body for my MX4 with the box art with my collar. So I'm super excited about that as well.
Yeah. So this one here actually is probably going to end up in the cover of a box kit, hopefully on the 97 Worlds, stock MX4, like the raceable edition, the latest and greatest adjustments that have come to the kit are going to be the box kit. Probably.
Yeah, wow.
So
beautiful.
Anyway.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that was the one going on my car, Ruben.
Yeah. So
is that what you want?
Yeah. So really, I mean, this website, I guess the point is this website is really a one-stop shop for replicas. I even found myself today, I've got all 7 of Masami's world's winning replica cars back here, but I didn't have exactly the right wing buttons and the wing mounts, right? But
right.
Ruben offers all that stuff. So I spent, an hour this morning looking at all my cars, looking at the pictures online, and I think I placed a substantial order for wing mounts and wing buttons from Ruben that he shipped out today to help put the final touches on a lot of my Masami cars. So again, it's passionate people around the world. I know you talked about, you've got guys in Hong Kong and Taiwan and Europe that are all buying your stuff. So it's a total international brand you've built here, right?
Yes, I mean the outreach is it's pretty incredible. I mean, I see orders coming in from France and Austria now, and I'm going, okay, that's new. That's a new area that I hadn't really serviced before, and you can see the word going out and getting out. A lot of that is through word of mouth, and I'm still in disbelief, to be honest with you. Some mornings when I wake up and I go, wow. It's really happening in other areas of the world, and it's good. It's a good feeling. I mean, it gives validation in what you're doing for the community. People see it and it resonates. And why stop at this point? It's what can we do more? Every week that goes by. What else can I put out there that people want that is not currently being offered? So that's the idea, and it's really, really rewarding. It's just amazing.
Well,
I'm gonna be honest. I respected you before the call, but I'm just blown away now seeing all this. And,
appreciate that, Dirk.
Wow. I didn't realize that you have put as much as you have into this. I knew how passionate you were, but dude, this is the people right here. This is the things that make people famous in RC. So you just seeing the comments come through of all the respect that you have from the different people that are on here already.
Yeah.
And dude, I can't wait to see you and get to hang out and crash your car a few times. And I'm excited, man.
And then, another thing that a big thing that just happened recently, and Michael Wartel is on here listening.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
I mean, credit goes out to Michael Wartel, Richard Saxton. I mean, when I recently became an associated reseller, just humongous accomplishment, good thing, good collaboration. I mean, it's a great addition to the website in terms of product availability. Adding that to the portfolio has been a dream come true, to be honest. Very excited and thankful for the opportunity. And Michael, if you're hearing, I really appreciate everything you've done. And I really can't wait to see what the future brings. The idea of being able to collaborate with Associated has honestly brought the RX4 Evo into fruition. I mean, being able to offer the shocks in that RX4 Evo from Associated was something that I was after for a long time, and to be able to do that now is just a humongous relief. I mean, and a good thing for customers. That is a choice of shocks that I wanted to push. The incorporation of the B7D wing mount on the Evo, that being an Associated part, that was actually Scott Spears' idea, right? He incorporated that, and I'm like, okay, that's easy enough. Let's do it. The sway bar studs, all of that is just a great addition to the portfolio, a great avenue and source of parts. Exactly. And I am more than thankful for the opportunity to do that.
I got news today. I don't know if I want to surprise you with this now, but I think actually Michael is coming to meet you at the race, just so you know.
Oh, awesome. That's awesome. That'll be amazing.
Had a good call with Richard right before we had this call, Richard Saxton. And there's some wild shit coming on, man. I'm so I'm gonna be honest. Vintage RC has not had this much momentum in a very, very long time, and there is so much cool crap going on. And the good thing, about it is, AE's got the bug again, and it took a little nudging and a little different things, but there's been so much cool stuff going on behind the background, and so much more cool stuff that's coming. And I'm excited, for what's to come. And man, I can't wait to see your kit. And I'm so glad, to see this website and the work that's went into it, and to have AE on board with you now as well. I mean, it's great, man. You're doing all the shit that I wanted to do when I first started Old School. So I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Really appreciate that. It means a lot. Appreciate that. I mean, we're going to just keep going. There's no reason to stop. I definitely cannot wait to see where the vintage world is going to go in 2025. It seems like it's going to just go. Clash of Champions in March is going to be, I think, a good stepping stone for what we're trying to do in the vintage world. I think is just going to escalate from there. And I cannot wait to see what's next. I know, I think I told you, Drew and Dirk, but Euromasters, and it's going to be in Germany. That's going to be right after Clash of Champions. I'm coming back from Clash of Champions. A few days are going to go by, and I'm going to be back on a plane going to meet the Team Rubrix over there in Germany. Very excited for that.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And
I may have to go with you.
I mean, guys like, Chris Eli, Daniel Ehrman, Nathan Rawls, Rick Greenwood, and more that are coming on board. I mean, it's going to be really exciting to see what comes out of that. And I'm sure there's going to be more races arranged for the end of the year that haven't even put on the map yet, but I know they're coming. And it's just amazing. It's amazing that vintage RC has elevated itself to where it is today, and nothing that we could forecast 2-3 years ago. It just happened. It's here.
Yeah.
We're all kind of riding that wave, right? And we're just wanting more and more. So
I give Drew credit.
Man, I'm just happy to be involved. Ruben, I do want to say too, and I know Dirk's going to Nick's race in a couple weeks out on the East Coast. So. And I want to go to at least one of these races. I want to start rotating. I want to, at least I want to go to Vault, Eric's race out in the Vault Nats. I want to, try to get out to Vegas for sure. I want to go to Nick's race. Even I was talking to Jason, from RC10 Talk, and he's got that race where they have it out in the barn, and it just looks fun and organic and natural. And I told him that I'd love to try to get out there sometime. He's like, oh, well, we're going to try to change the race day because it was so freaking cold there last year. But, the point is, I definitely want to try to get to more of these vintage races across the country and support the other people that are doing this as well, because that's important to the continued growth of what we're trying to accomplish here.
For sure.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go to work for AE full time and just travel.
There you go. There you go. Well, good.
What do you think, Mike? Can you make that happen?
Excited.
Excited. What kind of questions do you have? I mean, man, the responses are like going nutso here. I think this is probably the most comments we've ever had, Ruben.
So I meant to touch up on the YZ10 part availability from Chris. Yeah, I mean, I'll have some with me. I mean, it's going to be hard. I haven't worked out the logistics and how to get stuff over there for the event, whether it's coming with me, shipping prior, I don't know yet, but I'm going to try to have some essentials with me, and obviously be able to support racers there.
Who's making the arms, Ruben?
The arms for the MX4
or for the YZ? Is anybody doing any YZ?
So I know there's something.
Well, I know the new ones are out.
I can't say yet from where, but yeah, they're in the works. I mean,
I think,
but not from my end.
Yeah,
but that's going to be a bit of a. I mean, I know JC Racing.
Yep.
Has 95 lightweight arms. Perhaps, if that's something that I can coordinate and possibly have, if I have to reach out and get some parts from other suppliers and brands, I can definitely do that and have as much of the essentials with me as possible.
So we are trying to get him over here for the race, just so you know.
Oh, John, really?
Yeah, we really are. John's going to be I don't want to take your time, but John's going to be a big part of the race as well. I will actually, I don't want to give away the surprise yet, but there's some cool stuff coming.
That'll be good. John and I talk weekly.
Yeah.
So he's a great guy. So
we're talking about John from JC Racing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But I just want to say a quick thing to John. John, thank you for what you do for RC. I have had so many people reach out to me. I'm not even going to tell you how many have asked me about the JJ87 setup that I've worked on and posted a video on, right? And the thing that comes out is, who else can I get those 2.2 wheels from for the JJ car? Well, I don't think anybody else makes them but him. So I want to just say, John, thank you for what you're doing. A lot of people are coming to me asking about the wheels. I'm sending them to your way. And again, it's just another vendor in the community that's supporting us, but it's supporting the entire community and making us run these cars and run them efficiently and, having a blast. And that's where it's going to keep growing. So just a quick shout out to him. I just had to throw that out there.
He deserves it. He does a lot of great work.
Yeah. Hey, you don't have to worry about Chris Von Air outrunning you anymore, because after this comment he just made, I'm going to take his ass out for you.
But the lunch lady, did you see the comment he made? Did you see? I saw Dwayne at DW Designs posted that Kyosho gas truck or whatever, and Chris his comment was just hysterical. I was like, okay, so you're going to come to March and beat me with like a has-been gas truck converted kit, good luck, or something like that. It was just really funny how he said it. Just the banter was really good. So
see, this right here, is what the vintage community is about, having fun, cutting up, and it's going to be so freaking cool to see, 12 to 14 legends standing on a driver's stand together again. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, when's the last time that's happened?
It's been a long time, and it's going to be hard to replicate this. I mean, I think AE's going to do an amazing job with it, I'm sure. I don't know any details, but I know it's going to be great with them involved. But, man, it's hard to pull these legends together. I mean, you can get a couple of them, but, considering there's only been 2 max at a vintage race up to this date, and we're going to have about 14 of them, that just kind of states of how much work we're trying to put in to make this thing amazing. So
I want to talk about a couple things.
Yeah, do it.
I mean, I can go on as long as y'all want tonight, but I want to talk about the hotel, because we are talking about fun. And Scott said, I see some beer bets going down in here. All right, so I want to talk a little bit. I posted the hotel information. My good buddy Jerry Waller hold on, I got to delete like 1,800 comments. I didn't even realize there was a casino right there outside of the racetrack. So with that said, I'm going to post a link in the comments, but we have blocks reserved at the Caesars and they are great rates. So I'm going to post this here. So Ruben, you haven't booked your hotel yet, have you?
I have, but I mean, it could always change. I heard about the casino here in the Caesars Hotel, but
Ruben, don't let them peer pressure you into this, okay?
no, I know. I was gonna say, Drew, we kind of talked about the hotel situation prior, and I had set my mind, but let's see what Dirk has for me now.
I mean, we're definitely going to be at the casino nights for sure, hanging out with everybody and having fun. But yeah, we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I think it's great what you have done, Dirk and Jerry. Thank you for doing that. I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's an awesome platform that we're going to be able to promote. And there's going to be legends that are going to be at the casino thing too. So you're going to be able to mingle with these guys there as well. And an outside track environment. It's going to be awesome. So take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. And even Matt Hines sent me a message today. He's like, dude, I clicked on that link from Dirk. It's like $80 a night for these hotel rooms. So
yeah, it's
pretty awesome.
It's kind of cheap, like Chris Von Air,
Oh, wow.
Cheap and fun.
Wow. Chris.
Yeah. So, he's a good time, just like a casino.
He is really fun. He is really fun.
I don't know that link that I just posted. I don't know what the hell that is. Does it work?
Wow.
That looks like rubbish. All right.
No, that's the casino link.
I might have to remove that one.
So Ruben, did we cover everything? I think we talked about all your platforms. We talked about your amazing background. We talked about your build up for the website, like I said, even Dirk was stunned by the bodies. And, I will honestly say that I bought a Clifflet Replica 91 body from Ruben, and he's getting it painted for me. I'm excited to just put that on my shelf. And another great, legendary piece for my collection. And it's awesome to have that stuff at the resources. Darkside's done so much of my paint work, and it's just been amazing. I love Chris, and he's come to the event too. And but just having that option to be able to see it and then click on it and order it and know that it's in work is pretty freaking brilliant. So kudos to that.
Appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate that. That was the goal. Just easily accessible choices and options to get your car looking how you want it and customizing it or making it be a replica.
Awesome.
I think for the most part we covered. I mean, kind of a overview of things. We could speak for hours.
Sure.
And we can. But I think it's better to leave that for the on-site sort of engagement with the individuals that may want to deep dive into different subjects and areas, and I can do that when I'm on site for sure.
I know you got your family in town too, buddy, and I appreciate you taking time tonight to do this.
Yeah.
Man, what a pleasure.
Yes.
I mean, same here. Appreciate this, guys.
Yeah,
you are. Keep it up, man. Keep it up.
That.
Right. I will be there one day, sweeping your floors for you.
No, come on.
Big RC company.
Yeah.
Keep doing great things.
Same here. Ruben, thank you. I've already placed a couple orders. I told Ruben he's a terrible influence, and he thought it was like a bad thing. I was like, that's not a bad thing in the world of RC. When you tell people they're a bad influence, that's a good thing. It means you're digging more deep into the passion of what you're trying to accomplish. But thank you for offering the website. I've already been buying stuff from my replicas. And I'm really excited to run your car, represent your brand. I'm going to do an amazing job with that, as I do with what I'm doing here with this event. And, I'm real selective. So this felt right to me, and it's a car that I'm passionate about. And I know your personality, and I'm excited to work with Scott and other guys and someone else close to me that we're gonna make these things fun, and we're gonna make them rock out on the track. And I have no doubt you'll be really impressed with the results of Scott and some other drivers with your products at the track.
You build all my cars for me for the race.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's definitely I cannot wait to see how that hole's going to pan out, that everything's going to pan out, and being able to see you guys race the cars and you, Drew, getting a feel for how you find the mid drive MX4 to be performing compared to your stock MX4. That'll be good feedback.
Yeah.
And eventually, Drew, getting you with an RX4 Evo, so you can also get a taste, and kind of get a feel for that drive and be able to put all three in perspective. That's the kind of feedback that makes it fun as well.
Yeah, my tab is growing and it's only going to continue to grow. So that's fine. I'm cool with that.
We'll help you with that.
Mine. So thank you so much. I'm really excited we had this call. Looking forward. Thank you for being a partner. Thank you for being a great personality and knowing what we're doing and we know what you're doing. And we're just excited to have you on board. It's going to be a fun ride.
Thank you so much, guys.
Hey, Ruben, do you have any like gear yet? Like hats? Are you working on any of that yet? Hats, shirts?
So actually, yes. I mean, I have some of the gear, that I've had for some time, the standard t-shirts, but through Drew, am I allowed to say?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. And this is a good, and like I said, it's partners coming together, right?
Yeah. So we'll leave it at that. We're trying to get some new gear done, t-shirts and hoodies and possibly hats, and that's in the works. And hopefully there'll be some stuff to show here before the Clash of Champions event, and then we'll have it there on site to hand out and give. So
I'll just kind of go one more step and just say, hey, we're as racers, we're working on a really cool giveaway t-shirt for racers through Boom Graphics. They're our partner, one of our creative partners, and I connected Ruben with Boom, and Boom's working on some stuff for him privately as well. So it's just partners coming together. That's what this is about. We're opening all these doors for everybody, and they're opening doors for us, and it's a family and a relationship, and it's just benefiting everybody, and it's just awesome to see it all just unfold organically. It really is cool. It's what this is about.
Yeah.
If anybody's listening, I need some people to do some more old school RC gear as well.
Oh man,
it's so popular that my current person can't keep up. So we're gonna have to find somebody that can keep up with the demand.
Man.
So hook me up if y'all are listening. A couple more, Ruben. Thank you so much, Drew. Thank you so much. A couple other things. I was kind of mentioning earlier that I got off the phone with Richard Saxton earlier, and AE stepped in, and they're going to be a big part of this race as well, and sending people and so forth. But there is going to be a something big going on in Vegas in October, and I heard some stuff tonight about it. I can't say yet, but I can tell you it's going to be huge. So just think about that. Think arena style RC racing. If that gives you a hint, inside a big place, it's going to be very cool. That's about all I can say right now, but looking at possibly October for that event. This will kind of be the launching pad for that, and many more. We got another great race, which is the Vintage Off-Road Nationals coming up in September also. So I don't want to forget about my buddy Eric Reichert.
Yep.
He's kind of the one that created and started all this for all of us, and we never need to forget that about Eric. If it wasn't for Eric, these races wouldn't have happened, and he's getting ready to have his 18th year running. That says something. So
yep, it does. Yeah.
But thanks again to all the sponsors. Ruben, thank you. If you ever want to chat, just hit me up. And Drew, we need to get together this weekend to figure out a few things as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Let me know if you want to do that.
Oh, I was going to say, so we'll chat offline regarding the four-wheel drive vehicle here and see if that's something you want to go with, and we can customize it.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. So y'all stay tuned. Waffle coming near you real soon. Actually, I will likely post that tomorrow. So Ruben, I know you probably sent me the details before, but hit me up again. We will launch the waffle tomorrow to kind of in response, just like we did the clear car after talking to Curtis the other night. I want to launch this waffle tomorrow. And as soon as we are done with this live cast, I'm going to click right over to another one, and I'm going to do the waffle that got interrupted last night with the demons in my computer.
Awesome.
So
Dirk, are you cool if I go grab a box over there and do another waffle preview thing, or is that too soon?
100%. You got time
All
to
right,
grab
good.
one, or you
Hold
want to
on,
do
hold
that
on.
during
I got, we got all these great partners. We got AE, we've got Ruben,
Yes,
but we've also
please.
got this
Yes.
other amazing
Yes.
sponsor that's called
Yes.
Yokomo, right? Here we go. Hold
There
on.
you go.
Yeah, Yokomo, baby. You wouldn't be doing what you're doing without Yokomo right now, would you?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So this is
hell.
look at
No
this.
way.
Look at that.
Nice.
Another
Woo!
waffle incoming.
Damn, that's a big box.
Yeah, I know
It's
it is a big
almost as
box.
big as your head, Drew.
It is. So this is a 834B kit that Yokomo donated for us to waffle off and raise funds for the race. We've also got some motor that's going to come with this as well. So that's incoming as well. We've got the AE kits. We've got Rubrix Racing Kit. We've got this bad boy incoming too. So man, save your money from the Christmas. It's coming.
And you can also buy your tickets for a night with Chris Von Air.
Whoa.
We will be waffling out a date night with him
Whoa.
very soon as well. He has volunteered that up. So,
Wow.
Chris, I don't know if we'll sell out, but we will try. I'm going to start at $1 a ticket and 10 spots.
Oh man. Oh
All right,
man.
we want to do this live right now.
Oh man. All right. Well, Ruben, thank you. I know you've got family. Enjoy your holidays. Enjoy your
Same
holiday.
to you.
We have another live cast coming up next Sunday with a new legend.
Woo!
It's one that people have been asking about. We're gonna
Uh-oh.
Yep, it's gonna be a fun party of us. So Dirk will post all the details of that later this week after Christmas, and be excited for next Sunday, the 19th.
All right.
Yeah.
And thank you to
Thank
the
you,
legend,
guys.
Ruben.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes.
Ruben, you got legend status now, baby, for sure.
Yeah, you do.
Appreciate you guys.
Yes.
Thanks for
Go
everything
spend
you
time with
do.
that family, buddy.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thank
You guys have
guys.
a great holiday break.
Thank
All
you.
right, guys. I'll be hopping off and hopping back on another live cast
Okay.
to do the bodies from Dwayne DW Design and from oh my goodness, there goes my brain, Ruben. So stay tuned. I'll be right back very
All right.
soon with another live cast, guys.
Yeah.
Ciao,
Dirk, if you want me to pop on that one with you, I can tonight. I got time.
Oh yeah, hey, if you don't have anything to do, you can hang out and we can do it again.
Yeah, I can join you on that one.
All right, let me get it set up. I'll send you an invite here in a second.
Sounds
Thanks again,
good.
guys.
All right.
Deuces,
Thanks,
y'all.
Ruben. Appreciate
All right.
you.
See ya.